Hi there, I'm State Representative Tom Demmer.
And I'm State Representative Avery Bourne, and today we are answering questions about Reimagine Illinois. So, are you ready for questions?
Okay, how about I ask you first?
Okay.
You're on the hot seat.
All right.
Is there legislation, is there anything we can do to let people in the public get more insight in the budget process?
Yeah, so one of the pillars of our Reimagine Illinois plan is responsible fiscal leadership, and a main bill in that is House Bill 626, which is super common sense. It just says you need 72 hours between a budget bill being introduced or a bill that spends taxpayer dollars, and then when we vote on it, which to those of you who buy firearms, there's a 72-hour waiting period for that, yet we don't have any kind of current waiting period to spend taxpayer dollars. So I think it's super common sense, and we have a lot of co-sponsors, and it makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. And, one of those areas of state spending that we focus on a lot is in education. So What's up with this year's education spending?
Yeah, so we've seen for the last 2 years at least under Governor Pritzker that we have not spent additional dollars for our schools that need it most. And so we have set that as a priority in Reimagine Illinois. One of the bills says that we will spend the $350 million additional dollars that we promised in the school funding reform that we would spend. So it sets that out as our number one priority kind of before we start on any other budgetary process.
Okay, and in Illinois, I have to ask the question, what are we doing to change the culture of corruption here?
We need to do a lot more, and that is an entire focus of one of these four focus areas in Reimagine Illinois is ending the culture of corruption. And so we have, I think, over a dozen bills proposed in Reimagine Illinois that I think could fundamentally transform who serves in elected office and how they're held accountable, everything from enhanced transparency to not being able to be a lobbyist and a legislator at the same time. It's really common sense.
Okay, so there's a lot of bills, a lot of proposals out there. Why put it together as Reimagine Illinois?
Yeah, this is, like you said, a lot of these bills we've talked about for a long time, or ideas we've talked about for a long time. But Illinoisans, I think, need to see a cohesive package and a vision for the state, and so that's what we are hoping to convey. And all of these things, we may not agree with every single component, but as a whole, I think they paint a really optimistic future for Illinois, and they're actionable items that we could do in session right now. All right, does that mean you're up?
It does.
Okay, I have to pull up your questions. First question. What is Reimagine Illinois? I guess we should have asked this first.
Well, Reimagine Illinois is a 4-pillar, 81-bill package that the House Republicans have put together with priorities for the state of Illinois, with an optimistic strategy of how we can move the state forward. These are things that we've talked to constituents about, we've reached out to people on both sides of the aisle to talk about, and we're trying to build some momentum around things that we think can fix and put Illinois back on a better path.
All right. How does losing population hurt Illinois?
Well, losing population hurts Illinois. I mean, it's often talked about in a financial cost, how much money your community is going to lose, how much your population has declined over a period of time. But the real cost is the human cost. This is the family friend who has to move out of state because they found a job someplace else. This is the kid in your child's school who had to leave because their family took employment someplace else. These are the child that graduates from college and can't find a good job here in Illinois, so has to move away. That hurts our communities. It hurts the vibrancy, the vitality in our communities, and it's the human cost that really underlies why it's so important that Illinois is a place to grow and to thrive instead of a place where people are leaving.
Yeah, and we all know somebody. As soon as you hear that, you think of a family member or a friend who's had to leave. It's totally true. All right, can increased access to health care improve opportunities for Illinoisans?
Absolutely. I mean, increased access to health care can have a world of impact on what's going on in your life. If you have a medical condition, you have a loved one who needs extra support, and they're not able to find a physician, dentist, social service provider in your community, it can have a huge impact on your day-to-day life. Having access to the right people, the right place at the right time can turn a very bad day into a very good day.
All right, I think this is the last one. It's not like it's a small issue or anything. What is the largest single item in the state budget?
Oh gosh, the largest item in the budget has got to be our pension contributions. We have billions and billions of dollars each year, and it grows each year.
Right.
And so that pension contribution is currently consuming over 20% of our general revenue fund, and it grows every year, which means that it crowds out all these other areas we want to invest in education, in public safety, in healthcare. And it gets harder and harder to do that each year because of the billions in pension contributions we've got to make.
Do you want to know more?
Go to reimagineillinois.com.